COVID-19, man. To me, I see it as equivalent to leprosy in Jesus' old time. So, and this is the reason why I see it like that. Because back in the Bible times, leprosy, everyone who had leprosy, they quarantined them. They even got to the point where they started putting them in their own colonies.
Because of their appearance, people with leprosy have been stigmatized. From biblical times all the way up to the end of the 20th century, most people suspected of having leprosy were forced into exile, resulting in thousands of so-called leper colonies. Although governments stopped this practice by the beginning of the 20th century, many leprosy patients, particularly those who do not have access to treatment, continue to quarantine themselves, fearing ostracism from their community. This is one of the reasons leprosy continues to plague certain countries. Discrimination and stigma leads to shame, and this actually prevents people from seeking treatment, which, of course, leads to further spread of the disease. So perhaps the best way to eradicate leprosy is actually just to get rid of the stigmas around it. Seriously, ask yourself, what would Jesus do?
Jesus saw the leper, one of them, he reached out his hand and he touched him. And in those times, the Old Testament in Leviticus, it was forbidden for a Jewish person to touch any unclean person, be it a leprosy or even a woman who was on her cycle. You couldn't touch them. I mean, just like you couldn't, but leprosy especially, that was forbidden. It was the thought process was it's going to come onto you. I've experienced this myself, just telling people I was going to go get COVID-19 testing. I don't even have the symptoms, but they were treating me. I felt, and I don't know if you guys, I only felt a little bit. I can only imagine if I actually had it and I was seriously quarantined in my house, how afterwards or during that time frame, people kind of close you out, and they don't purposely, but they don't want to be around you. They'll call you, but they ain't gonna come near you. And so I started thinking about that. I said, man, that's scary. That can create some serious fear, anxiety, depression. That could create all these mental things that you never had, but now you're gonna have them because you're going through this alone, and and you're quarantining, and no one wants to come around you. Everyone treats you like you're a leper. Like they can't touch you. It's sad. It's very sad. And so I talk about these things because I think they're serious, and I think they're really happening, and I believe that they are happening to many of you guys. So whenever you get a chance, I would love to talk to one of you guys and maybe share your testimony and how that experience was and how God brought you out of that sickness. And so confinement is I see it as equal to quarantine. And it can create a lot of anxiety, it can create stress, it can create a lot of mental issues, and it can create depression. These things will manifest if you're in your room, in a house, in a room, all alone, told day by day, we just gonna wait for you, see what happens. Keep, just hoping for the best. You know what I mean? That's scary. So I want you to share this and tell them, and if you can, put it in the comments. Please, you're welcome to friend request Carlos. If you're sick, if you're broken, if you have pain, friend request him, and he will pray for you. God bless you guys. Be blessed in the name of Jesus. You're welcome, Patricia. God bless you.